Do you think your cat is just stretching to loosen up after a nap? Why didn't they do it 5 minutes ago before you walked into the room? The truth is, the timing isn't random at all. Behaviorists actually call this a social stretch, a deliberate action triggered entirely by your presence. Stick around until the end of the video, because I'm going to reveal why a cat exposing their belly during a stretch is actually a dangerous tummy trap that most owners fall for, and what it really means if your cat never stretches to greet you. Let us put a name to what your cat is actually doing. Behaviorists call it the social stretch. It is not just a fancy way of saying hello, it is a full-on greeting ritual that only happens when you are around. Here is the kicker. In controlled studies, cats stretched nearly twice as often when their favorite human entered the room compared to when they woke up alone. That is right, your cat is waiting for you to make your entrance before busting out their best yoga move. Why does this matter? Because timing is everything. If stretching was just about shaking off sleep, you would see your cat do it randomly, whether you are there or not. But when researchers set up cameras in real homes, they caught a dramatic spike in stretches the moment an owner walked in, sometimes up to 140% more stretches per session. That is not a coincidence. That is intent. Think about it. After snoozing for up to 16 hours a day, your cat's blood pressure drops, their muscles go floppy, and their flexible spine and shoulder blades, held together by muscle not bone, need a little wake-up call. But your cat saves the big, showy stretch for you. It is a social performance, a declaration. I see you, I trust you, and I am ready to interact. So next time your cat greets you with a full body stretch, remember, it is not just a warm-up. It is their way of saying, welcome home. You are part of my family. Ever wonder how your cat can go from a limp, sleepy loaf to a full-on Olympic gymnast in one stretch? Here is where the science gets fascinating. After snoozing for up to 16 hours a day, your cat's body is basically in power save mode. Their heart rate and blood pressure drop, muscles relax, and everything slows down. Think of it as a mini hibernation right there on your couch. But the moment your cat spots you, something incredible happens inside that furry little body. A quick stretch is not just about shaking off a nap. It is a total system reboot. The instant your cat launches into a social stretch, their nervous system flips from rest mode to action mode. Studies show their heart rate and blood pressure can jump by about 10% in just a few seconds. That is the sympathetic nervous system firing up, sending a wave of energy through sleepy muscles and waking up the brain. Even their breathing speeds up, pumping fresh oxygen to every corner. Now, here is the secret weapon. Your cat's skeleton is built for this move. Unlike us, cats do not have collarbones locking their shoulders in place. Instead, their shoulder blades are suspended by muscle, which means they can glide and extend with almost acrobatic freedom. Add in a super flexible spine, and you have the recipe for those dramatic back arches and paw reaches. The stretch is not just for show. It lubricates joints, refreshes tendons, and primes every muscle for whatever comes next, whether that is zooming around the house or just asking for dinner. In short, your cat's social stretch is the ultimate warm-up, blending athletic efficiency with a personal greeting just for you. Picture this. Thousands of years ago, wild cats lurked at the edge of ancient villages, keeping a careful distance from humans. But even then, the seeds of the social stretch were being sown. Archaeologists digging at Catalhoyuk, one of the world's oldest towns, dating back to around 6000 BC, have uncovered clay figurines of Ksheets in that unmistakable arched back, belly-exposed pose, right beside human figures. Fast forward to Egyptian tomb paintings from 1800 BC, and you will spot house cats stretching in full view of their people, as if to say, hey, I belong here. Here is where the wild to domestic story really takes off. In the African wildcat, stretching mostly happens after hunting or when the weather changes, not for show, and almost never for people. Only about 18% of wildcat stretches happen near humans. But in feral city cats, that number jumps to about 42%. And in your average modern house cat, a whopping 78% of stretches are aimed directly at you, often with eye contact and a soft purr to seal the deal. That is not just evolution. It is a domestication hack, fine-tuned for human attention. So what changed? Over generations, cats who stretched openly around people were more likely to be accepted, fed, and kept safe. That simple move, a stretch, became a social tool. It is not just about getting the kinks out after a nap. It is about saying, "You are my person. I trust you." The next time your cat greets you with a big, showy stretch, remember you are taking part in a ritual that has been evolving for millennia. It is a handshake across species, and you are on the receiving end of a gesture as ancient as civilization itself. What if your cat's stretch is more than just a show of flexibility? Here is a wild twist. Every time those paws hit the floor, your cat is leaving behind a secret message, an invisible signature written in scent. Right between the paw pads, tiny glands release a microscopic film packed with chemicals like squalene and 2-octanone. To another cat, this is a personalized calling card. To you, it is more like invisible ink, marking you as part of their trusted circle, a family smell that only the inner crew gets. But the story does not end with scent. The way your cat stretches tells you even more, if you know how to read the signs. Behaviorists have spotted at least 4 classic moves. There is the pretzel pose, where your cat twists like a cinnamon roll. That is a playful signal, I am ready for fun. The fullback stretch, sometimes called the infamous tummy trap, is a power move, belly up, tail high, trust on full display. Just do not fall for the trap. That exposed tummy is a compliment, not always an invitation. Next, the front paw reach, one paw out, pads pressed down. That is a scent marking stretch, quietly making you part of their territory. And finally, the tail high arch, spine long and tail straight up, which means game on. Your cat is primed for action. So next time you spot a stretch, look closer. Your cat is not just limbering up. They are talking in a language of scent and posture, letting you know exactly how they feel and quietly inviting you into their world. Ever notice how your cat always seems to plant themselves smack in the middle of the hallway, right when you're trying to walk by? This isn't random. It's the feline version of a toll booth, and guess who's being asked to pay up? When scientists tracked where cats chose to stretch, they found a pattern. Cats who wanted attention didn't just flop anywhere. They picked the busiest spots, doorways, kitchen entrances, right across your well-worn path. That's not a sleepy accident. That's strategy. Your cat is making sure you can't miss them. It's a clever move. You're forced to slow down, maybe even step over them, and that's exactly the point. Studies comparing random rest spots to deliberate stretches show that cat-seeking interaction will block your route 60% more often than when they're just napping alone. Think of it as a furry roadblock, demanding a toll in the form of eye contact, a slow blink, or maybe a quick head scratch. But watch out for the tummy trap. So next time you find your cat stretched out in the perfect spot to trip you, remember, they're not being lazy or in the way. They're running a one-cat checkpoint, inviting you to pause and connect. Ignore the toll and you might just get the cold shoulder. Pay up with a little attention and you've passed the test. Here is where the tummy trap lives up to its name, and where even the most loving cat parent can get caught. You see that big, showy belly stretch and think, wow, my cat trusts me. Time for a belly rub. Big mistake. Veterinarians have a special term for what happens next, the tummy trap. It is not just a funny internet meme. It is a real thing with real consequences. In a recent case series, 12 owners ended up with lacerations after reaching for that fluffy, upturned stomach. 3 of them needed stitches. That is right, what looks like an open invitation can turn into a lightning-fast swipe, all because your cat's instincts kick in. Here is the science. When your cat exposes their belly, it is a supreme compliment. They are showing you the most vulnerable part of their body, which means they trust you deeply. But that trust comes with boundaries. The stretch is a social signal, not a green light for hands-on contact. A sudden touch can trigger a defensive reflex, even in the sweetest lap cat. Veterinarians see these injuries so often, they recommend clinics post warnings about the tummy trap right in the waiting room. So next time you see that irresistible stretch, admire it from a safe distance. Respect the trust, skip the belly grab, and you will both stay happy and scratch-free. So next time your cat hits you with that classic social stretch, pretzel pose, tummy trap and all, remember, it's more than a morning yoga move. They are signing their name on you with every paw. That's trust in action, not just a stretch. Got your own stretch story? Drop it in the comments.